Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Chemical Coordination and Regulation, and today in this video we are going to cover part 2. Okay, now let's begin with the first question, which was asked in the year 2012. Which one of the following pairs of hormones are the examples of those that can easily pass through the cell membrane of the target cell and bind to the receptor inside, mostly in the nucleus? So this question was asked in the year 2012. So we have insulin, thyroxine, somatostatin, then we have cortisol and testosterone. Cortisol and testosterone, we know it's very well, they are steroid hormones, right? Which are lipid soluble and easily pass through the cell membrane of the target cell and bind to the specific intracellular receptor. Therefore, the right answer to this question is option D. Next question here. Match the source gland with respective hormone as well as the function correctly, and this question was asked in the year 2011. So analyze here. We have to analyze and match and see. Anterior pituitary, the hormone that is secreted is oxytocin. Contraction of the uterus muscles during childbirth, that is wrong. Posterior pituitary, it secretes vasopressin. Stimulates the reabsorption of water in the distal tubules in the nephron. So posterior pituitary is right. It releases vasopressin. It stimulates the reabsorption of water in the distal tubules in the nephron. Therefore, the right answer is option B. Next question here. Given below is an incomplete table and we need to fill it. Okay. So we have to find A, B, C. So estrogen, it is liberated from ovary. So it should either be A or C. A is ovary for sure. Okay. Now B, alpha cells of islets of Langerhans, it is glucogen. Okay. Therefore, the right answer is option A. B is glucogen and C is growth hormone. Okay. Therefore, the right answer is option A, which is the answer. Next question here. The 24-hour rhythm of our body, such as sleep-wake cycle, is regulated by which hormone? Very easy question. All of you must know this answer. It's not adrenaline. Adrenaline is the emergency hormone. Prolactin is associated with milk and calcitonin is associated with calcium. Therefore, the right answer is melatonin. It's a hormone that regulates the 24-hour rhythm of our body, such as sleep-wake cycle, etc. And melatonin will be released. It will be released by the pineal body, okay, in the brain, which is responsible for the operation and regulation of the biological clock in mammals. Therefore, the right answer is option D. Next question here. Injury to the adrenal cortex is not likely to affect the secretion of which one of the following? And this question was asked in the year 2010. Okay. Adrenal cortex is associated with the adrenaline. The answer is also adrenaline. Adrenal gland has two parts, that is cortex and medulla. The medulla is stimulated by the sympathetic nerve tissues to produce adrenaline and on adrenaline, while the cortex is stimulated of the pituitary hormone to release cortisol. Then you have adultosterone, okay, and estrogens. Thus, injury of the adrenal cortex is not likely to affect the secretion of adrenaline. Therefore, the right answer is option C. Next question. Which one of the following pairs is incorrectly matched? The very first itself is incorrectly matched, right? Yeah, glucogen is not beta cells. Glucogen are from the alpha cells of the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas. It increases the concentration of the glucose in the blood by stimulating the breakdown of the glycogen. Therefore, the one which is incorrectly matched here is option A. Next question here. Toxic agents present in food which interfere with thyroxine synthesis lead to the development of dash. Very easy question. Just identify which one it is. It is not, just because it is toxic agents present in the food, it cannot be toxic goiter. You call it as simple goiter. Goiter is caused by the deficiency of iodine. That is why they say we have to intake iodized salt. It is very important. Iodine is needed for the synthesis of thyroxine. Toxic agents present in the food interfere with thyroxine synthesis and lead to goiter. Therefore, the right answer to this question is option C. And you must have seen people getting thyroid problem during pregnancy time. They must have not undergone such a problem till birth. I mean, during their growth. But once a woman gets pregnant, there is some hormonal imbalance in the body. There's a sudden shock, and the body is slowly it's getting accustomed to all the changes that is happening within itself. So what happens, these hormones which are released sometimes leads to imbalance, or sometimes lead to hyper or hyperproduction. That is why this thyroid problem, sugar, all these arise during pregnancy time. Sometimes it vanishes after pregnancy, otherwise it seems to continue even after the delivery of the baby. Okay, therefore the right answer to this question is option C. Next question here. A health disorder that results from the deficiency of thyroxine in adults and characterized by low metabolic rate, increased in body weight, tendency to retain water in tissues. So again, it is simple goiter. When they don't intake, usually they come in 50-100 mg thyroid tablets. When you don't intake the tablets correctly, automatically you will see a lot of changes in your body. Especially there will be a loss. The face, legs all get swollen. You might find the body weight to be increased. All that will be seen there. Okay. So apart from that, what can be the answer of this? These are symptoms of simple goiter, but it's again associated with thyroxine. Okay, but here you don't call that condition as simple goiter. Simple goiter we saw in the last question. It's again associated with the thyroid gland, but you call that health disorder as myoxoedema. Myoxoedema is caused by the deficiency of thyroid hormone or thyroxine in adults. It is characterized by the increased body weight, puffy appearance, low metabolic rate, and a tendency to retain water in tissues. That's what I said. The swelling of your legs, face, all that is because of this. Therefore, the right answer is option B. Fine. Next question here. Which one of the following pairs of organ includes only the endocrine glands? Very easy question. What is the answer here? It should have only endocrine glands. But before that, what do you mean by endocrine glands? We were talking about the full, even when we saw earlier human reproduction, we were talking about endocrine. And even in this lesson, we are talking about the same thing. The endocrine system is a chemical messenger system that comprises feedback loops of the hormones released by the internal glands of the organism directly into the circulatory system, regulating distant target organs. In humans, the major endocrine glands are the thyroid glands and the adrenal glands. Okay? And what are the 5 endocrine glands? If you see, you have pineal, so I just write it here so you'll know. You have pineal, then you have the pituitary, then you have pancreas, then you have thyroid and parathyroid. Therefore, now you should be able to answer now. The right answer is option. It should have only endocrine. It includes only the endocrine glands. Okay. So adrenal, yeah, I forgot to tell about adrenal glands. That is also there. So from the adrenal glands, what come in? Hypothalamus, parathyroid, hypothalamus, pineal body, pituitary, pancreas, ovaries, testis, thyroid gland, parathyroid, hypothalamus, and adrenal glands. So the major glands that I've mentioned here. The right answer is option A, parathyroid and adrenal. A peptide hormone secreted by the parathyroid gland in response to the low levels of calcium in the blood. It acts to maintain the normal blood levels of calcium by increasing the number of osteoclasts, which break down the bone matrix and release calcium into the blood. So now you understand what the answer is. And it is also said it is seen to increase the reabsorption of calcium and magnesium ions in the kidney tubules, so that their concentration is maintained in the blood. Therefore, the right answer to this question is option A. Next question here. Which part of the ovary in mammals act as the endocrine gland after ovulation? And then correctly read the question. They are talking about after ovulation. Okay. So it is obviously the Graafian follicle, which is option D. Graafian follicle is the ovarian medulla that contains many rounded or oval bodies called ovarian, or you call it simply as Graafian follicles at the various stages of development. Each follicle contains a large ovum that is surrounded by many layers of, what are they surrounded with? Follicle cells. So the one which acts as endocrine gland after ovulation is the Graafian follicle, which is option D. Next question here. A person is having problems with calcium and phosphorus metabolism in his body. Which one of the following gland may not be functioning properly? I think all of you know what the answer is. When it comes to the phosphorus and calcium metabolism, what will come there? It's the parathyroid. Parathyroid disorders. It causes lowering of blood calcium level. This increases the excitability of nerves and muscles, causing cramps and convulsions. Therefore, which gland is associated with it? Parathyroid, which is option D. Next question here. Feeling the tremors of an earthquake, a scared resident of the 7th floor of the multi-stored building starts climbing down the stairs rapidly. Which hormone is initiated in this action? So this is an emergency situation. You are actually scared and you kind of disturbed, you panic, and the emergency hormone which is here is option A, adrenaline. I think I don't have to explain much about this because I've already explained a lot in the part 1. Okay, next question here. Sertoli. Sertoli cells are regulated by the pituitary hormone known as dash, and this question was asked in the year 2006. So what is it? Sertoli cells. During the spermatogenetic development, spermatids get nourished by the nurse or the Sertoli cells. The function of these cells, the function of this and the spermatogenesis is under the direct influence of which hormone? It is under the influence of the FSH. Okay, secreted by the adenohypophysis of the pituitary gland. Therefore, Sertoli cells are regulated by the pituitary hormone known as FSH, which is option D. Next question here. Which of the following is an accumulation and release center of neurohormones? And this question was asked in the year 2006. Neurohormones are actually secreted by the neurosecretory cells of the hypothalamus. They are circulated by the posterior part of the pituitary gland through the blood and stored there and released when required. Therefore, the right answer to this question is option D, posterior pituitary lobe. Okay, so with this we complete the part 2 of chemical coordination and regulation. Hope to meet you in the next part of the same chapter with another set of questions and interesting explanations. Thank you.